Good morning guys, I'm Chris and welcome to the first in a multi-part series of the resurrection of this cool lamp. Yep, so it's the first time I've ever seen one of these, first one that's ever come through the door. I don't know much about them. They are rare in the UK, so we don't really see these. What is it? It's a Gretsch 6160, 6160 I think they're called. Chet Atkins Country Gentleman amplifier. 35 watt, 2-channel, 2-speaker amplifier. I think it should run 7027 output valves. I think it's got 9 preamp valves, might be 6. They were originally manufactured from late 1960 right through to 67, 68, and then a new model was introduced. Really, really cool. Amazing story on this one. My customer picked it up from somebody, paid peanuts for it because it doesn't work. And he's owned it for a couple of years and he's been trying to find somebody who's brave enough to take on the work, which has fallen to me. So there you go. I'm really, really interested in this thing. As I said, I don't get them through the door. Cosmetically, I know it looks a bit grubby on the front, but the grill cloth itself, not the grill cloth, the Tolex, is actually in surprisingly really nice condition. Then the customer wants a full resurrection on this. Whatever it means. He paid so little for the amp, he's quite happy to put some money into this to get it up and playing and sounding great. It does have some issues which I will explain and we'll talk about, and the type of thing we need to do. But yeah, overall, very, very interesting. I don't really know, as I said, I don't know much about these. I've done a little bit of research. I've pulled the schematics off the internet, which I've got one for the preamp and one for the output stage. Very cool. Watch some videos on YouTube of people demonstrating them. They do sound cool. They sound really, really cool. Yeah, so I am excited. I hope you are too. But let's do a full walk around of this thing, have a look, see what we can find. I'll show you some of the issues. We'll talk about some of the things my customer has looked at already. And then we'll come up with a plan of how we're going to get this thing up and running, playing its best, sounding its best. It doesn't want a cosmetic restoration on it, just wants it electrically done, which is great, it's fine by me, no problem. And hopefully he's going to end up with a really, really cool amp that he's going to get to enjoy and keep. You know it's serious when I've got the brown jumper on. Anyway, we've got the back panel here, some surface corrosion on the panel itself, and some of the screen printing is coming off. You can clearly see the two Jensen P12P speakers, and they are dated to 1963, so that's maybe a good indication of how old the amp is. Split chassis design, so we've got the preamp chassis up the top and we've got the power amp chassis down below. This one is fitted with a step down transformer down here in the corner, and I can already see that the output valves are incorrect. It's got a set of 6 L6s in it. It should be 7027, so that's one thing to add to the list. Chet Atkins, look, very cool. 2 channels, 2 independent channels, so you've got volumes and they're mirror images of each other, volume, treble and bass. You've got a foot switch input here, you've got tremolo controls, channel controls for channel 1. You've got this electronic tuner system here. I have no idea what that is, and I need to look up how that works and understand what it is. We've got our inputs and a phono input here as well. And we've got a reverse mains reverse switch here, which obviously we will disconnect because we don't need for UK voltage, UK plugs, that sort of thing. Turning the controls, these 3 here, these 2 are quite stiff, this one's quite free turning. Tremolo controls turn fine. On this channel, however, the volume's okay, or at least it feels okay. The treble is very, very stiff and binds up. It's not good at all. And the bass pot feels better, but not great. Okay, so having a look inside, let's zoom you in. Okay, so we've got our mains cable here, which is very crudely installed. Hopefully, I can get you in on this so you can see. Zoom in. There we go. So the live and the neutral, the blue and the brown here, are connected to the step-down transformer here on the left, which looks to be a really cool old unit. The Acme voltage transformer. Anyway, what was I saying? So the brown and the blue are tapped into this, but the state of that is not good at all. And the mains earth goes off to the back of the chassis there. Then you've got this, which goes off, this big old bundle of wires coming out the back side of the transformer up into the unit up here. We've also then got all sorts going on. This amp's a mess. Okay, what else can we see? We've got two. So this is your speaker out, broken off here. These are broken off the speaker terminals on this one, and they go onto this speaker here. That's all going to need fixing. It is a polarized plug though. Oh, it says Switchcraft on it. We've also got another chassis interconnect here, which goes up to the top chassis. This speaker is a bit loose, same with that one. Around this side, we've got our output transformer. I assume it's the output transformer with the two output valves here. The chassis has got a bit of surface rust on it, but nothing too bad. So there you go, up to the top panel. Very interesting. Love the handle on the cabinet, by the way. Big fan of this. Two dual light covers are missing. I think one should be amber, one should be white. See if we can find what we can do with those. So what's the plan for this amp then? Well, really, there is a bit of background on this from my customer. He took it to someone local to him who, because it doesn't turn on, and apparently the mains transformer is shorted. So he wants to get that rewound, and he's managed to find. Oh yeah, it's all coming apart. He's managed to find some the original specs online, which he's going to send to me, so we can send that off and get it rewound. At the same time, we're going to have a 240 volt tap put on it, so we don't need a step down transformer for the amp. At the same time, when that was being checked out, the output transformer was also inspected, and apparently it was giving off some, quote, funky readings. So we'll check that thing out as well, and if that needs a rewind, then we can get that done at the same time. The two speakers, we need to pull those out. We'll do that today, check that they're okay, check the condition of the cones. If those need reconing, he's happy for that to happen too. No problem at all. So, shall we start with the disassembly of this amplifier, work out how we're going to get this thing apart, because I can't work out, the chassis is quite long, so it doesn't come out the back here. Does it come out the front? I don't know. I also need to document this with loads of photos, so I've got all the details and all the bits and pieces, so I understand exactly what goes where and how these things work. But isn't this cool? Isn't this amazing? I think they were manufactured by Valco, who made amps for lots of different brands. So it'd be really interesting to see inside. I don't know what the chassis look like inside. I don't know what condition they're in. I don't know if there's been any previous work going on. But let's go through it together, see what we can find. And yeah, this is going to be a multi-part series separate to all the other riff videos. So here's the front side or the back side of the chassis, I guess, or the amplifier, whichever way you choose to look at it. So we've got our mains transformer here. We'll have to look up all the codes on those because I'm not entirely familiar with them. Got a Mallory cap can here. That's the step down transformer. Output transformer. Hopefully, again, that one is in good condition. At least I hope it is. And if we look up here, we can see the inside of the preamp chassis, as we'll call it. Very, very cool, very interesting. I can see lots of old paper and wax, so paper caps. Sorry, no wax caps in here. Lots of Mallory stuff. Got missing a preamp valve here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 preamp valves, not 9. There you go. Pots along the top. This thing's amazing. This is really cool. I can't wait to get stuck into this. So we're going to have to do some, give it a good old restoration, resurrection, whatever it is. Okay, so let's start by getting the lower chassis out. The power supply chassis. How are we going to do that then? Oh, it's American, isn't it? So we're going to have to convert everything. Those nuts are 8.4 millimeters, which is 11/32. Get my 11/32 socket. There it is. Okay, so let's have a look then. These two output valves, two Fender branded 6L6 well, that one was. Yeah, same with this one. Same with this one. Okay, rectifier valve is a 5U4 Italian made 5U4 GB, sorry. Missing a centre pin. Now, sorry, the 7027s, you can think of them as 6L6s, but they do have a different pin out. So I wonder if the cause of our issues was caused by someone running 6L6s, but I don't know how these sockets are wired, so maybe it can run both. We'll have to check that out. So it's got this multi-section cap, as I mentioned before, which is a 10-20-20. To see if we can get something appropriate for that. Here's that output power transformer. E3738A 5246245, which I think means it's 45th week of 1962. Here's the output transformer. There are some markings on the top. There you go, you can see it now. E6113, model number, 26th week of 1963, 524 EIA code. So we'll look up who made these transformers, because that was, what's that, a 524, and this one is also a 524, so they're from the same manufacturer. Okay, so we spin the chassis over, and that's the underside. Okay, we've got another filter cap here, 20 microfarad. Here's our can cap. These are the wires that will then run up to the preamp chassis. And here's our output valve sockets. Cathode biased, 200 ohm with a 35 microfarad 50 volt capacitor. Pins 8, both pin 8s tied together. 200 ohm, 35, 50, correct. Pins 8 tied together with the orange wire, correct. Okay, pins 3 should be our anode, so 1, 2, 3, which is blue and brown, these two wires here. Pins 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, both pins 4 tied together, that's your screen supply, which will be this wire here. Pins 5 and 5-6, well 6 isn't doing anything on this socket. Pins 5, each one goes to each side of this, which will be your inputs from this socket here that runs off to the preamp chassis, which is here, which will be these two here. Okay, so it's all matching up so far. The way it's currently wired, there's no reason why you couldn't stick 6L6s in these sockets. So I don't think running 6L6 is going to be an issue. Very cool indeed. I mean, how old is that piece of dust? Yeah. Right. So we need to check the transformer, don't we? So what have we got then? We've got primary comes in. We've got a 5U4 socket wide normally. So 4 and 6 will be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the red wires as standard. Then we'll say this is red. This is red. Standard colour scheme, therefore yellow and yellow. Pins 8 and 2 over here for our heaters. Yellow. Yellow. And we're looking for a centre tap as well, which I assume will be this one here, the red with yellow stripe. Red with yellow. Heaters will be green, easy enough. And that's centre tapped as well, which will be this yellow with green here. Easy enough. The other one we need is the primary side then, which must be the two blacks. Must be the two blacks. But does that make sense? Does that add up? Because these two blacks go off to here, which is then a red and a black that goes up the wire. So the mains input from the amp, which we saw, and I'll show you again, goes up to the preamp chassis and then down this wire to here. It's a bit strange, isn't it? But there we go. That's the power amp chassis. That will be easy enough to restore. We're going to pull the transformer off and take some measurements out of circuit. And we'll do the same with the output transformer as well. And the preamp chassis. So here's your mains cable, your standard mains cable that comes in. Right up here, because I'm guessing it has to come up to here because the on-off switch for the amplifier is on this part of the amp. Then it goes through all its standard switching bits and bobs. We zoom you in. There we go. And whatnot. Okay, so they actually call this, I read it somewhere, amplifier group 1. Sorry, it's upside down. Amplifier group 2. So each half is essentially a mirror image of each other, as far as I can work out. Yeah, you've got all these old components in here. Look at all these old caps. It's like working on an old radio. This is fantastic. Oh yeah, you see those caps in the back there? Tucked behind. How are we going to get to them? Got another one there. .05 microfarad. More tucked down the back there. Got a Mallory cap there. This thing is so cool. RS branded cap there. And so that's it really. So I've got a lot of learning to do, a lot of working out. But yeah, that's essentially what this is. So this connects to the bottom chassis via, you've got the octal plug here. You've got your mains cable that comes in, and this will be another interconnect, and we'll work out what that is as well. How amazing. What a cool amp. Also, it's got the longest chassis bolts. So they come into the chassis about this far, through another block of wood, through the side of the cabinet. There. Absolutely crazy. I'm loving this thing. I'm having a great time. But there you go. That's it. So, let's move on. Here's our Jensens then. We'll just have a look. So a couple of codes on them. So over here, 220 means Jensen, and then we've got a 3 for 1963, and then the week there, 32nd week of 1963. This speaker here is exactly the same. It is the P12P model. P is Alnico, 12 for 12 inches, and the other P is for the power rating. I'll have to look up exactly what they are. I've got a chart somewhere to remind myself, but they're probably 25 watt speakers, 2025. We'll look at what they are. It should be a 35 watt amp. So, but yeah, I can't quite remember off the top of my head what power rating the P's were. Should we lift one off? Also, before I go any further, I need to mark which way up this baffle goes into the cabinet. This way up. Because without the badges on the front, which are missing, it's very difficult to remember which way. The only way I know is that the one with the broken off speaker cable was on the right hand side, sorry. That's all of those off. Okay, are we ready? Okay. Unfortunately, we have some damage on this one. No cone rub though, which is good news, but it will need a recone. It will need a recone. I'm just looking through the slots, checking out the condition of the spider. Can't really see much wrong. Let's remove the magnet cover. P11. So that's one of them. And we'll check the other one out. Okay, speaker number 2. Place your bets now. Oh, I think there's a tiny bit of cone rub there. I see a couple of hairlines, there's a hairline crack there. I saw another one too somewhere next to it here. So we've got one there and one there. Oh, that's a shame. Could probably patch those, but considering the age of the speakers, I don't know what condition the paper coil is inside. We're getting one of them recombed. We may as well get the second one done too. Well, that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. Next job for me is to remove and test both the transformers in this chassis, and that will give us a good diagnostic direction, or a good plan to go in at least, as to what we need to do to get this Gretsch amp back up and running for the customer. So, as always, please give this video a thumbs up, or your comments and questions down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. If you're feeling super generous, why not join the channel? There are now 3 different tier levels that you can choose from. Some of you did request to be able to support me more in that way. I have delivered. Please sign up, and I will catch you all at the next one.